Hello everybody. Today, this is going to be a video talking about just some projections I have for the GWL season. I'm going to be posting this on my main channel since I am the one pretty much producing this. I haven't really said anything about it. I just wanted to do this because I've been watching some MLW videos and I thought they were really, really cool, especially about the projections and the things like that and player projections and how they're going to do. So this is going to be really pretty much completely unedited. I'm using a new software. I usually use Zoom to record. I'm now using Audacity, and hopefully Audacity works really well. It looks like a pretty good, audio service. So I'm going to be trying to go all one take here. It's not going to be that long of a video, but I'm just going to be going over my takes, just some more in-depth than the podcasts, good takes on the Wildcats, Lightning, Sharks, Bandits, playoff projections. I'm going to kind of be trying to exclude my team. I'm going to be going over player tendencies, things like that. I'm just going to be going over every player and every team as a whole. So, starting off on that, we're going to be going on to the Wildcats. I have the roster in front of me. First, we're going to be going over Jack Carlonis as the captain. As I don't know if you guys know, but you guys should know because of the end of last year, he had to switch from being a dominant left-hand pitcher to a right-hand pitcher, which definitely is going to definitely hurt them because he would be their main pitcher, and that would make that team really good. So Isaac Stevens, which is a new player for them, not a new player in the league, but he has been signed fully to the Wildcats. Isaac is going to have to step up in the pitching game since Jack has to throw opposite-handed. Cam, he might get some pitching. I've never really seen him as a pitcher. He's more been like just a solid hitting, fielding guy for them. Has the good knowledge of the game. And anyway, we'll go over one by one. So Jack, his hitting is going to make the team really, really good. And I think that that will definitely help the team win hopefully win a few games this season, even though this is kind of a rebuilding year for them since Will left. Going on to Cam Gasperone, we didn't get to see him that much last season. I think he played in like 3 games. But yeah, he said he's been practicing and doing some pitching, so that's actually going to be really good for them. Hitting wise, last year he didn't swing the bat very much, so he did pretty much got most of the things he got were walks. So I think this year he needs to swing the bat a little bit more to get good hits. But overall, he didn't have a bad season. Isaac Stevens, I think we saw him in 2 games. He was a sub, and he actually did really, really well for facing some really good football players. He hit really well, pitched decent against a really good team, and it was a really windy day, so I'm not going to blame him, but hopefully he can step up the pitching game when Jack can't pitch. Overall, I think the Wildcats will have an okay season. I don't think they're going to, I think they'll have like an even record. I don't know if they're going to be a losing record or a winning record. I think it's going to be really close. I just don't know if they're going to have a really strong season this year. I think it's going to be more of a rebuilding season, but that's okay. So I think it's just going to be, this is just more of a rebuilding type season for them. So I don't think there's going to be anything too surprising from them. Okay, now I'm going to skip my team for now. I might come to my team a little bit later, but now we're going to be going over the Sharks. Now the Sharks, this is all for, if you guys didn't know, this is all for just regular season. I'll get to playoffs after. The Sharks, I think Aiden Cahill is the captain. Mason Fink and Antoine Doobie are the 2 other players. I'll be going over subs after. I just want to get the main players done. We'll talk about subs after. But so Aiden Cahill, the captain of the Sharks. I think some good things that he can bring to the table are leadership. He's a really good leader. He'll help the guys, especially get going since the team chemistry might be a little weak there. Aiden Cahill, he can hit the ball, especially if he makes contact. He'll hit the ball pretty far away since he is a strong kid. Pitching, I don't think is his strong suit compared to hitting. I think hitting is more his thing. So there's nothing really more about Aiden. I feel like he's just he's pretty sneaky good. I think he actually has a really good eye, and if you throw the ball right down the middle, he's gonna punish you. So that's really all I gotta say for Aiden. Going on to Mason. Mason is a really good baseball player. That's one reason why they signed him, because of his baseball talent and the talent he displayed in the Lightning game where I had him as a sub. He had a home run off Jack throwing lefty, which is just crazy enough because Jack was throwing gas. So yeah, Mason definitely is going to do really good this season, even though he's going to be throwing lefty for them, which is definitely going to devastate that team a little bit pitching wise, as those Jack Carlonis and Mason Frick are going to be throwing opposite handed to not hurt their baseball arms, which I understand, especially since they pitch a lot. So yeah, Mason, I overall think he's going to be a really big threat to the league and anybody pitching. So you're going to have to really focus against him. So yeah, let's go on to Antoine Dubé. Antoine Dubé is a new player. I don't think he's played in any games this season. He is the brother of Andre Dubé on my team. He is I've seen him play baseball. He's a pretty good baseball player. I think he's going to be an overall pretty good player for the team. I don't think there's anything that he's overpowering in. I think this is going to bring a good balance to the team for pitching and hitting and things like that. It's going to bring a good mix into Aiden, Mason, like a good in between, which I think is what they need. Now we'll go into the Bandits. We're going to be going over Will Provost here. He's the captain. Obviously, most people know Will. They think of pitching. His pitching is just by far the best in the league. He is, practices 24/7, has pretty crazy movement on his pitches, and yeah, I think he'll do really good this season, just like he has in the past. I just think that for him, he needs to, if he starts throwing balls, he needs to just, relax, take a break, and start throwing strikes, because sometimes he can get off to a bad start, and it's kind of hard for him to come back from that. But other than that, I think he's doing pretty well. I think he needs to step up his hitting game a little bit more, because it wasn't too scary facing him last year hitting-wise, or me pitching and him hitting. I think it was he needs to step that up a little bit, even though he did hit pretty good last year. I think there's some other guys that are a little bit more threatening, but I still think he's going to do really good this season either way. And I noticed I forgot to give the Sharks a record. I think the Sharks are going to be positive by like 2 or 3 games, but I don't think they're going to be anything too crazy. I think it's going to be a lot like the Wildcats, but just a better version of the Wildcats. I think they're going to be if they play 9 games or 8 games, I think they'll be 5-3 type thing. They're going to be a couple games, and so yeah, that's my opinion. Anyway, on to Devin Antonia of the Bandits. He is a new player. He's never played in the league before, never really been in a real wiffle ball environment before, but he is a good baseball player, and I've seen it. So I think good baseball players will thrive in this league, since we all kind of started as baseball players. That's kind of how most people in this league are actually baseball players. So I think that's kind of transfers over to wiffle ball a little bit. Yeah, Devin Antonio, I think he's going to be sneaky good. Like I said with Aiden, I think he's going to throw the ball really well, hit the ball really well, and field really well. Even though people kind of think he's just Will's teammate, I think he's going to do really, really well this season. Don't think we're going to see him very much pitching-wise. I think he's just going to be more of a, hitter and fielder for them. But, yeah, I think he's going to have a really good season. I think he's going to get a lot of hits, have a pretty good average. So, and then, overall, I think the Bandits are going to be really good. I think they're going to be a contender for that first place spot pretty easily. So, yeah, let's go on to my team now. I'm not going to talk too much about my team, since I don't want to give a biased opinion, but I'm going to try to keep as unbiased as possible. Me, I think that I'm a pretty well-rounded player. I'm too crazy at anything. I think hitting is definitely my strong suit compared to pitching. I think I hit 3 or 4 home runs last season, which is actually pretty decent. And if I can keep that up, I think we can do good this season. The pitching, I think I need to step up my pitching. I don't really have that many pitches in my arsenal, which is definitely with this many players and this many good hitters. I definitely need to step that up, which is going to be a challenge, but it's okay. Jackson Altham, I think. Only really thing I need to say for him is swing the bat more, and he needs to step up his pitching, which I think he has. I've had a lot of people tell me that he's been pitching a lot this off season, and has been doing really well with it. So that's kind of what is good to see in a player, because last year I was our only really pitcher, and when Jackson had to pitch, it would be kind of a hard time to come back. And I don't think it was his fault. I think it's just because he didn't get enough experience, which I'm going to try to give him more this season, because he's been saying he's been doing really well pitching, practicing. So I think I'm going to take his word for it. Hopefully he's going to come back a really strong pitcher this season, and I hope he swings the bat a little bit more, because he has really good power. Andre Dubé, now he played the last few games with me. He played, I think, the last 2 or 3 games, I forget, and he did really, really well. He got a lot of walks and pitched I think he pitched like a third of an inning, so he didn't get that much pitching in, or maybe he pitched, I think he pitched the whole game, I forget. And he did pretty good. He didn't give up that many runs, and is pretty solid in the field. I think his strong suit is hitting and has a really good eye, so I think our team is gonna be really well rounded now that I've signed Andre. And overall, Lightning, I'm going to be completely honest here. I think we're going to have a season kind of like the Bandits, but I think it's going to be tough to override the Bandits in that first or second place spot. I think that's going to be tough to battle out between the Bandits. So, yeah, we're going to be going over subs now. So, here we go. I'm just going to get my sub list up. I'll be right back. All right, I've got my sheet up. Now we're going to be talking about the subs of every single team. Now, for the Wildcats, which is actually kind of a crazy move. I thought this would never have happened, but Reichen Albert is back in the league, folks. After he said he was going to be done with football, kind of his team, Sharks, were not very good last season, so I'd understand why he wouldn't want to come back. But he's now coming back and is going to be a full-time sub for the Wildcats. And Reichen, I feel like he didn't get enough credit last year just because he didn't play very much, but he's a really good football pitcher, especially if he tries really hard. He can definitely be a strong pitcher for them. But the only thing with subs is you can only legally take a sub if one of their players is not coming. Now, what Jack can do and what all the captains can do is they can intentionally sit one of their players, but I don't think the captains want to make that decision too many times, because then players are not going to want to come because they're never playing. It's going to be boring. So I think that's going to be something that the captains are going to have to think about if they're really going to want to sit people or only bring the subs when there really is a sub needed. But anyway, I think that only thing he needs to improve this season is his hitting. He didn't, in the couple games he played, I don't think he got very many hits, if even at all. But his pitching is definitely his strong suit, and he is a fast player. So if he makes contact, he's definitely going to get on. So, Lightning. My sub is Hunter Fink, the brother of Mason Fink, and I signed him purely off of pitching. And I know he can hit, but I just signed him mostly for pitching because just in case that I might bring him after probably like mid-season. I think is going to be a good time. I'm going to really fully use him, especially what we're going to try to do is I'm probably going to pitch myself the first game and maybe Jackson the second game, see how he does, and if it's something that I'm not really seeing any improvement, I might even for a game, if it depends who we're playing, I might sit myself for like half a game and bring Hunter and see how he pitches. And if he pitches really well, then I might sometimes after my 2-game pitch limit is up, I will bring in Hunter for one of my players, but it would probably have to rotate because I don't want to be sitting people, because obviously this is wiffle ball. I don't want people to have to sit. So yeah, so if you guys didn't know, if you can pitch 2 games in a row, then somebody else has to pitch. That's just to get pitching rotations through. So it's not the same guy pitching every single day. Okay, now the Sharks. I don't know if the Sharks have a sub, and I'm not sure. I don't think they do have a sub, so we're gonna skip them. Bandits, we'll be going to the Bandits now. Colby Drew is the Bandits sub. And I think that that he will be decent. I have never really seen him play baseball or wiffle ball, but I've heard he's pretty decent. So I think that's going to be a purely sub pickup. Like if Devin can't make a game, which is more than likely for the first couple games, Colby Drew will definitely play, and I think he'll do good. I think he'll do decent, especially with Will pitching, and he just has to relax and hit. So that's the beauty with playing with Will, is you're never going to really have to pitch unless his 2-game pitching limit is up. So. Okay, now we're going to be going into playoffs. I know this is kind of all one take, but this is kind of what I'm going for. I'm trying to go for all one take. I don't want to be going too much. This isn't a podcast. This is just my projections over the league, and we'll see if it's right. I mean, hopefully it will. And I'm going to try to do these throughout the season. I'm going to be checking averages, things like that. I'll try to get these out after, like maybe a week or two. I'll try to get these out on my main channel, just so if anybody wants some more deep wiffle ball talk, you can come to my channel and watch that. So yeah, I'll probably be going over more statistics once the season actually starts. That would be a lot easier, but for now we don't have any statistics, so it's kind of hard to to have anything to talk about. So this first one will be kind of just projections, so purely projections. Now, anyways, going on to playoffs. I think that the playoff race this year will actually be pretty close if everybody plays to their full potential. I don't think everybody will play for their full potential. So that being said, I think there's going to be two teams, and I don't honestly know what two teams is going to be. I think there's just going to be two teams that are going to know that it's going to be going to be between them two. We'll start with the Wildcats. I definitely think they will get. I think they'll get. I'm just gonna say this. I think they're gonna take the 4 seed this year, only solely because they just don't have the pitching depth that they need. So I think they're gonna take the 4 seed, but I think that they might come back in the playoffs, which will be in sometime in August. I think they will. I think they'll be pretty good. I think they're gonna put up a fight their first round, just because that's just the type of players that they are, especially Jack. He's pretty hard to pitch against. So so it would probably be, I'm gonna say it's gonna be between the Wildcats and Lightning or Wildcats and Bandits. Now I think Wildcats and Bandits would be a really, really good matchup to watch because you have Will as a pitcher who's gonna do really good in pitching. You got Jack that's gonna do really good in hitting. You got Cam and Colby Drew if Colby Drew does come. I don't know what we're gonna be working out for different type of rosters going into the playoffs. I don't know if we're gonna have you can bring your subs. I just don't know how that's gonna work out. We'll figure that out. But I think it's gonna be pretty even out because Bandits have two pretty good players and the Wildcats are pretty balanced out with their 3. So I think it's gonna be really, really close. I think it's gonna be if you guys didn't know, it will be a 3-game series. So hopefully it will come down to the wire. I'm hoping not to see too much of a blowouts in the playoffs, since the playoffs are supposed to be, higher, crazier, better wiffle ball, pretty much. It's going to be more intense. The rules might be a little bit different. There's going to be obviously no pitching rules, so it's just going to kind of be whatever goes, I think, is what's going to happen. But, now we're going on to the Lightning. I don't want to be, again, too biased here, but I think my team will take out of the 1 or 2 spots. It's going to be close with the Bandits, like I already said. I think that the winner of I think whoever takes first place will go to the World Series. I don't think the first place team is going to lose. Especially, I feel bad for, I think it's going to be between Wildcats and Sharks. It's just going to be, there's the Lightning and Bandits for tying for first or second, and the Sharks and Wildcats for third and fourth. I think that's just kind of how it's going to go. So that's just kind of how the teams are looking so far. But, Lightning, I think that, if we can take first place, I think we'll go to the World Series, and I think we'll do pretty well, just because being in first place, being the top dog, kind of gives you that mentality of we are the best team. So I think that will definitely carry us if we can get first place now. But there also is that feeling of being the underdog. So I think if we're the underdog, it also might give us, some fight, but also a little bit of nervousness, which is not what we want. We want to be the top dog and not be any nervous. Just another football game. That's kind of how I want our team to think. So, I think we'll do really good. I think we'll do good in the playoffs. I just really hoping if we can get to the World Series, we don't choke that bats. I think the batting is going to be the most important piece in the playoffs for the Lightning because we do have a good bat. Our lineup is really good. So, anyways, going on to the Sharks. Now, the Sharks, I think that would be, I think if the Sharks take third place, which is my guess, I think that the Sharks are either going to play either the Lightning or the Bandits. I just really don't know which one's going to take first or second, but it would be between Sharks and Lightning or Sharks and Bandits, and those are both going to be good games just because the balance in rosters. Now, I think I can compare, I can do a little bit comparing here. I think I can be comparable in wiffle ball to Mason, just because we're both pretty steady hitters. We both can. If Mason was throwing righty, I think we would both be pretty steady pitchers. I think that's just gonna how it's gonna be. I think Jackson is not really comparable, but I think he's in between Antoine and Aiden. I think he's right in the middle of them, so that's gonna where he's gonna be. And I think Andre is gonna definitely with a more confident bat, Aiden. So I think it's just going to be really, really close if the Lightning play the Sharks. And if the Sharks play the Bandits, I honestly think that it's going to be one team that's going to do really well hitting, or they're going to do really well hitting, or the other team's going to do really well pitching. I just think that's going to how it be. I don't think it's going to be that close. It's like if Will's on, the Sharks will lose. If Will's off and the Sharks are hitting, the Sharks will win. I think that's just going to how it's go. And Bandits, I kind of been talking about them the entire time. I think they'll be first or second. I think they'll come in. I think if Will is on, they will advance to the World Series. And if Will does good in the World Series, I think they have a chance to win the title. So yeah, that's kind of how my take on it. Hopefully, I'll be putting up a little graphic as I go, which would be kind of difficult, but that's where we're gonna have to go there. So we're gonna stop it there. So my final projections on the season are gonna either be Lightning winning the World Series. It's gonna be Lightning versus Bandits in the World Series, and I think it's either gonna be really, really close. It's gonna come down to that final game. So that's what I think is gonna happen. I think Lightning or Bandits will take first. Sharks in third, and Wildcats in fourth. That's my final projections for the season. I will get back to you guys, hopefully, in a couple weeks after the first couple of games, and I'll give you some statistics that time. I think will be more interesting. And I might get some tier lists out. I might break out, like a pitching tier list, a hitting tier list, things like that, like mid-season. So that's what we're looking at for the next couple weeks and the next couple months. So I hope you guys did like this. This is something a little bit different. Usually I'm not posting on my personal channel, but I hope you guys liked it. And if you did, please like and subscribe. And please subscribe to GWL Wiffle Ball. That would be very helpful. So I know this is kind of a short video. I mean, it's 20 minutes long, which is actually pretty long. But thank you guys for listening and watching. I'll hopefully be putting up some highlights of all the players on there who have been playing. And yeah, see you guys in the next GWL video.